Alright, I thought I had got a shot of this while it was outside and in good light and, you know, in an easy place for me to film it, but I didn't. So this is a huge buffet. I got it for free. The people were just over trying to sell it, so they just put it outside and I gotta come and pick it up. It's gorgeous. It has all of these amazing carving details everywhere, all wood. Oh, it's stunning. It's gonna be a struggle for me to sell it because I love it so much, but it's too large. It is in near perfect condition, all the outside, with the exception of there's some stuff on the top, which really isn't that bad. This is just some light scuffing in the clear coat. However, there is some damage to this corner here. So that's a thing. But aside from that, it's in beautiful condition, the whole thing. The drawer slides smooth. It's beautiful inside. It didn't come with a key. It does require a key for the middle door. So I just have that in there so that I can open it and close it. Yeah, because the middle one doesn't have I mean, you can use the little thing. And then there's the little secret drawer in there, which is just another fun thing. So here we go, gonna get started on this bad boy. So for what I'm doing now is I have two mixed colors. I have a deeper blue and then a kind of like dusky teal color. I feel like you guys you kind of assume that I'm gonna go the blue, teal, gray route because those are my favorites, and that's kind of just what happens. However, on these, I was testing out the colors last night, so I got this one side with just a base coat on it because the side's not getting blended because I'm doing this guy on here. He's going in the little framed area. So you can kind of see that maybe. So there's a little frame out, and then yeah, putting this I don't know, blackbird, he's gonna go in there. And he's got some lovely coloring, and there's kind of some coppery colors in the leaves, so I'm going to add that into the gilding. All right, let's get started. Starting off with my dark color, this is actually gonna be a really easy blend. I wanted to make this as simple as possible because it's such a huge piece and it's going to be a more expensive piece, and that means it's going to take a little longer to sell and it's going to have to go to the right buyer. So I try not to do anything too crazy on pieces like that because I want them to be able to fit into somebody's home. So quickly we're going to just duck sand, do some prep work, and then clean it off, and then we can start painting. This is already a very clean piece, so it's going to require minimal effort, which is awesome. I do finish off the cleaning with water just so that there's no residue or anything from the cleaners that I use. I tend to use natural cleaners because I work inside a lot and I have a little guy that runs around, so I don't want anything in the air that we're breathing that's not okay, but they do leave like essential oils and things like that on the piece that you don't want underneath your paint. So then I have jumped into the paint. I'm just using the two colors, so it's a really easy blend. And then I'm basically going the full way with the dark color all over because this is just the base coat, and that's going to ensure that the whole piece is going to get covered. I wasn't worried about bleed through with this piece. It was coming up really clean when I was wiping it down, and it already had a very light layer of the whatever top coat they had on it, so I knew it just wasn't going to bleed, so I wasn't worried about it. But it was a darker wood, so I went the dark route over the entire piece. Sometimes that changes depending on the kind of blend I'm doing, but for this, since it's dark anyways, I knew it would be fine to just do the whole thing. And then just to kind of help with the base coat, I'll go back over the middle section in the lighter teal color, which is what I'm doing here. I work with damp brushes, not wet. So if you see me with a spray bottle on my brush or on the piece, it's because I have to keep everything fluid and moving. And having a damp brush helps with that process. And then we're on to the second coat. After that dries, you can see it lightened up a lot. Also, it's a different time of day, so I have more light in the room. But I just go around all of the edges with the dark color again. For whatever reason, I start with a dark color. I don't think it truly matters because you're going to go back and forth anyways, but you kind of just do whatever feels right to you. But I like starting with the darker color when I'm doing kind of circular fades. So around the edges, and then I've gone through back with the teal, and then I'm going over that. I did go with the darker color over the center of this also because I wanted the dark color to be in the crevices of all the details there. And then I wasn't so much trying to cover up the entire piece with the teal, the little applique in the center. That way I could have some of that darker blue peeking through. I will end up going through with the waxes and reshading things and everything as well, but every layer helps. And then so as far as blending goes, you guys have seen me do it a ton, but it's just kind of back and forth between the two colors to make sure I get something that I enjoy looking at, not something that I am ashamed of. And then you can use just the two brushes or add in a third brush if you feel the need to. And then as far as sealing, I sealed the whole piece in wax. So the sides were finished with poly when I did the bird to put them into the edges. I did those in poly, which is the video previous to this one that I put up. And then the top I also finished in poly. Just because I like that, I think it's a more durable surface for a top. And then remember I showed you in the beginning that there was like scratches and stuff, so I'm just taking this down to the wood, and then I just did a quick stain to match the inside, and it goes right into getting the same color as everything else as far as the inside wood color goes. So this is a dark wax that I'm using right now, just again because I want to bring out all the details. So anything recessed, I'm putting the dark wax in, and then I'll use my gilding waxes, the lighter gilding waxes, to do anything that's a high point or something that I want to like really stand out, because you know metallics are shiny. So here, this is a small thin brush that I'm using to get into the crevice, and I'm going all the way around that. And since I want it to be even more shaded in the final round, so this is where I'm putting the vast majority of the color, and then I'll take a slightly larger brush to kind of buff it out and spread it out. And then especially in the corners, I'll bring it down just a little bit further for more of a halo effect. So it's a really easy thing to do, and it adds a lot of depth and dimension to your piece. Of course, gilds because I have to. And it just makes everything so much more grand. I don't think I'll ever get tired of gilding. There's some pieces where I don't want it as much, but this piece really needed it. And it was fun because I got to play around with this a lot. Like on the really decorative parts, like this piece here, I made sure it was like full on, like really metallic. But then on like the trim underneath, you can kind of water it down a bit with wax, like clear wax or whatever color, but clear wax just kind of waters it down. And you can get kind of a glisten without having it be super potent. So it's a really fun way to play with the waxes. As you can see, that's the before, this is the after. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you are having a great week, and I'll see you next week. Be sure to subscribe, like, all that stuff. Share the video if you want to. That'd be great. And yeah, thanks so much for watching.